All right, my friends, this is why I think that AMD is still preparing to launch the 9080 XT or 9090 XTX. So, welcome back to Frogboy X1 Gaming. I'm Andrew, and today I want to talk about this and give you guys a little bit of my peace of mind. Now, this is 100% speculation. Look, there's leaks out there talking about AMD playing around with other different configurations for RDNA 4, but we're now getting leaks for a 9950X 3D2, okay? And this is supposedly gonna have the cache on both freaking on both cores, on both dies are gonna have, or both CPU clusters are gonna have the same freaking 3DV cache that you get on a 9950. So essentially doubling that, making all CCDs usable like you can on with the 9950X 3D, and this, I bought that's in the NVIDIA build. The 9950X 3D is what happens is it will park half of those cores and it will use the other 8 for gaming. Well, if they do this new 9950 and I think there was like a 90 or 80 and something like I just barely read like that the other day. And so if this actually happens, if they actually do this on this generation of CPUs and then still bring out the next CPUs featuring the same layout, you know, having like the, I don't even know what it's going to be called, what, 1099 to 1050X 3D or whatever. If they do the it is getting kind of weird keeping up with all the little freaking weird numbers and stuff, but let's just say if they are planning on doing something like this, okay, 9950X 3D X2 or whatever it's going to be called, putting the 3DV cache on both chips, having 16 cores with freaking 3DV cache, you can bet your bottom dollar that AMD is cooking up some stuff. Now, this might not be like a full-blown, like, here you go, here's a top-end, you know, RDNA 4 GPUs, but it makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, it makes sense for them because they're still using like the 4 nanometer, right? And there's still plenty of freaking there's still plenty of freaking wafers, plenty of chips out there that they could easily, and I get it, you know, everybody's just going to be like, yeah, no, you don't know what you're talking about, Frog. They got to do this and that and blah blah blah. And it's like, look, dude, they probably if it's going to happen, that means it was already in the works for a long time. This is kind of like the way I took things when Jack Wan said that, look, we're going to focus on the lower end cards, mid-range cards. That's what people are buying mostly. That's what they're buying. You know, so that was their focus. Like, hey man, we got to get these out. Got to get them out at launch. Got to get them out. This is like 9070 XT. It's going to be a beast. We're going to let the AIBs add more power to it, whatever. That was like their thing. They were like, we want to make these cards the best, the absolute best bang for buck, money for performance, for the people that can't afford only to spend $600-700 for a GPU. They wanted to fully bring as much power, as much bang, as much is the features, everything. They wanted to do that. That's the way I took it. Is like, yeah, they want to do that. They never said they weren't going to make a high-end GPU this generation. They never said they weren't going to do that. They just said that for the time being, the plan was to get the 9070 XT, the 9060 XT, all of that out there so that they could start to saturate the market, so they could try to gain market share, so they could get developers and people excited about that. So then when you turn the page all the way over to the MI450 or whatever, the new AI GPUs that are going to be running on RDNA 5, and they're going to be coming out, you know, pretty soon or whatever as well for the whole AI thing. Okay, so you've got that going on to 2 nanometer. Okay, you've got RDNA 5. It's going to be 2 nanometer. They've skipped 3. They're going straight to 2. They're gonna build that out. They're building that out right now. But they need something right now. AI is where AMD needs to kind of get something in there, GPU wise, to satisfy that DIY market for these GPUs to start getting more people on board. Because they're in this like this perfect, they got this like perfect opening right now. Between now and the end of the year, first quarter of next year, they have this perfect opportunity, perfect opening. All they got to do is beat 4090 in gaming power, and gamers will buy that. They will eat that up at $1,000. Bring it out, $1,000, maybe a little more. That's all they got to do is beat a 4090. That's a pretty low hanging bar when you look at what 9070 XT can do. They could legit put out a 90 or a 9080 XT, give it 450 watts. I've been saying this. They could do that, give it 450 watts. That would push that card well above 5080 and right into 4090 range. It might not beat it completely outright on everything, but it would freaking compete at 450 watts with a 4090. And my suspicion is it would beat it a lot, but it would probably maybe still fall short a little bit on like ray tracing or something, but only on the games that are designed and developed for NVIDIA. The ones that utilize the NVIDIA features, I think that those games would still potentially have an edge. NVIDIA probably still have an edge in VR until AMD gets something going really good with the drivers. I still need to test that this weekend. But if you look at where AMD is right now, okay, and this is why I'm saying this, is because they got this perfect window to where gamers want something affordable that they can buy that can compete with like 4090, and you know, just be in that like super high class of the like, yeah, this is good. I got 24 gigs of VRAM. Trust me, even a 9070 XT with 24 gigs of VRAM would be enough to push a lot of people over the cliff to get an AMD GPU. It just would. 24 gigs of VRAM just has this alluring like, oh yeah, that's good. It has that forward thinking like, yeah, this is gonna future-proof me type feeling that comes with that. And trust me, as a gamer now, as a PC gamer, like, yeah, I look at things like that and I'm like, damn, even with my 5090, okay? Even with my 5090, I'm like, dude, this thing's a monster. But I am terrified to use that thing because of the freaking 12 volt plug. Like it terrifies me. I'm not even joking. But if AMD could bring out bring out a card, give it the same power that the 7900 XTX did, give it the same 8-pin power supply. Even if they needed to change it to the 12 volt, it is what it is. But bring it out, give it a give it 90 CUs, give it 94 CUs, give it 96 CUs. Bring it out with a 450 watt power budget and let that thing just go wild. Give it 32 gigs, give it 24 gigs. You know, I think that like 80 CUs, 76 to 80 CUs for a 9080 XT, give it like 390 power watt or power, 400 power, and then do the other one at like 450, bring out a 9090 XTX, and just let that thing go at like 450 power, 450 watts, give it freaking 32 gigs of VRAM. I guarantee you that there's enough gamers out there that would buy that card, that would love the 32 gigs of VRAM, that would fully eat it up. That's why I think, okay, and it's not even anything that like, it's not even anything that like, no, they can't do it. Obviously they could do it. This is more of like, this is like just like critical thinking. It's not like some weird fanboy thing like I want AMD to do this. It's like they have the perfect opening. And that would be weird if they just completely were like, no, we're not doing that. No, we're not doing that. I'd be like, why? Why wouldn't you have done that? Like, why not? I mean, I guarantee it the AI guys would buy it. They would buy that. They would absolutely buy that. 32 gigs of VRAM, 450 watts, don't have to worry about the freaking power connector burning out. I think people would buy that. I think that right now is the best time for AMD to strike. We're 9 months into this freaking generation with the 9070 XT. They bring it out, boom. That gives them more time to work on freaking RDNA 5, because then they got everybody satiated with this powerful card. Maybe revamp 9070 XT, give it more VRAM, maybe revamp 9060 XT, give it more CUs, or build like another, GRE in there that has more VRAM / power, and kind of close the gap in between the 9060 XT and the 9070. And just, I don't know, a little more variety, a little bit more affordable variety out there for people to be able to buy these products. Look, I personally think it would be unwise for AMD to skip on this. I do. That's why I talk about it so much, because I want to see this. I would like a card from AMD, and this is wishful thinking, maybe coping, whatever you guys want to say. I would like a card from AMD to come out with 24 gigs of VRAM and have more power than a 9070 XT to get it closer to what the 90... I want it to feel a little bit closer to what 4090 had, okay? 4090 was a good card. It was an awesome card for rasterize. It felt good. It was great. I would like to see an AMD card with that type of raster power, with 9070 XTs, like, you know, and obviously increased, but ray tracing, FSR4, all of these new features. I would like to see a more potent RDNA 4 card. I would really like to see AMD not rest on their laurels on this generation. Like, I really like RDNA 4. I think it is absolutely incredible. I think the 9070 XT is, look, without a doubt, without a question, if it's the only AMD card we're getting this generation, fine. It is what it is. It's incredible. Junior's got a 9060 XT now. Incredible. I love these cards. I think they are absolutely freaking incredible, but having that 5090 puts a lot of things into perspective. It does. It like gives you this like, it gives you this level of freedom in terms of like PC grunt power or brute force power, to where you're like, no matter what, you're like, I'm gonna make this thing work no matter what. And when it works and when it's firing on all cylinders, holy shit, that is one hell of an experience. And that's what I would like to see AMD have. I'd like to see AMD be able to stand there tall and be like, look guys, we got this 9080 or 9090 XTX. It's definitely designed more for the AI guys, but if you use it for gaming and it's affordable enough, it's not going to break the bank like a 5090, and it gets you close enough to that experience to where you have that feeling like, wow, man, you turn it on and it just feels robust. I think that enthusiasts would absolutely eat that up. Like, FSR4 is so damn good. The AMD should literally take advantage of that and get people out there that have more money talking about this AMD product instead of just relying on like the mid-range or the I mean, I look at the 9070 XT as a high-range card, high-end card. I do, but it has a 70 class. It's a 70 class card. They need to get that next step out there so that people can be like, oh my gosh, dude, this is what we want. This is absolutely what we want. We want to see more of this. I just want to see, I guess maybe it's more out of curiosity that I want to see high-end RDNA 4. I want to see exactly how it would perform with the proper power budget, with proper fast VRAM, you know, GDDR7. Like to see it with enough VRAM to fully load in games, you know, to where we're not freaking getting like any kind of stutter or anything like that. To see it fully pushed by a 9950X3D or 9800X3D. I'm curious, man. Like, I think that they have a working formula with RDNA 4 to where they could really push that thing very hard. And I think it would deliver. So that's kind of my like thing on it. And that's kind of why I think they will do it. I think that by the end of this year, CES, I think we'll see something stronger from AMD. So, all right, guys, if you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.